So you're both.
Right, good morning everyone. Welcome to Amateur Voice Acting, if you haven't figured it out by the giant font and showing off on the microphones. It's early, FK in the coffee, I saw it this morning, so everyone be careful. Yes. We should be drinking coffee, we'll get onto that later, but we need it.
No.
I didn't stand still.
I went to the breakfast place and I went to go fill up the coffee, but I used one of the plastic cups and it went. It just went everywhere. It's like, oh my god. It's early. It's early in the morning, and
It's early. Most of us went back drunk last night and probably only had about 3 hours sleep. So
I'm guessing probably everyone's still drunk now, right? Okay, I'm Rebecca. I'm known on the internet as Zhe. You heard me as the little redhead if you were on the kindergarten orientation earlier. I've been voice acting 13 years. Doing panels since the first Ayacon. My credits include a fan remake of King's Quest 2, a Halo machinima called Pre-Game Lobby, flash animation called Amazing Android, audio play of Sabrina Online, the webcomic, and all sorts of random stuff. Tom, are you ready?
no. What am I being ready for?
Tell you who are.
My name is Tom, and I have various internet aliases. I have no idea why, but I started in 2007, and what got me into voice acting was Sonic the Hedgehog. When I used to play Sonic Adventure, I used to just pretend to be him, and here we are.
I was so short and sweet. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Name Sonic. Okay, Jay?
There you go then, you just heard my name. I'm Jade, I'm Jackson91 on the internet, and as you can probably tell by my slide, I do a lot of Minecraft. That's basically all I do, it's like, oh hey, we're doing a new Minecraft mission, our voice. And that's basically it, but I'm slowly branching out, but still Minecraft based.
Okay, so we should probably explain what we just said and what it means. A lot of people call us AVAs, it's amateur or aspiring voice actors. There are some amateur voice actors who use it as experience to go pro, not everyone. So it can range from complete hobby to semi-pro. I've done a little bit of paid work. I don't know about you guys.
No. I wish I got paid.
Not very often, not very much. It's usually just, here, have a beer. Do your voice.
Well, I didn't even get a beer, I didn't even get a thank you from the Yogscast.
Virtual handshake.
Yogscast! Voice acting can cover a huge range of projects. We'll get on to that a little bit more. Most of the stuff we do is online. A lot of times we never meet. This is the first time all three of us have met, and I just kind of recruited them by incessantly tweeting about it.
Apparently she met me yesterday, but
I'm not surprised you
can't remember.
As I said, it's most often volunteer stuff, so don't do this thinking you're going to get rich. This is the odd generous person or person with ethics who will occasionally toss back a couple of cokes or something. Not the dodgy kind. We'll go through some of the projects you do. Fan dubs, you saw some earlier. They can be serious or more like a parody in a bridge series. Who here watches any bridge series on YouTube? Yeah, so a big bulk of you, that's probably how you've heard about amateur voice acting. We've got mods, game add-ons, Skyrim, very popular at the moment, so if you've got a British or Irish accent, suddenly you're very popular on the internet.
I'm Irish.
Yeah!
To be sure, bigger.
Oh, we'll get on to accents later. What Americans say. Americans. I've also voiced for fan games, original games. So the one on the left is the King's Quest 1. The one on the right is an original game called Eternally Us, which is getting quite popular because of a few Let's Plays. Animation, that is a flash animation called Lokimon. More on that later. And another thing is radio plays, so the kind of thing you might hear on the BBC. Well, not content-wise, but style-wise. Alright, so I know some of you saw a sneak peek of some stuff while we were waiting, but we're going to look at some projects. So first, we're going to look at a Phoenix Wright fan dub by Tom. Do you want to say anything about this first?
I enjoy doing it.
Brilliant. Alright, let's play that.
I'm returning for one reason and one reason alone, to settle the score.
An attorney's greatest asset is their head.
One is deduction, and one lacking emotive at that.
Ouch, he's right. I don't have a thing on him.
Look at you silly lawyers, bluffing. It is shameful how little you know.
There was an awful lot of anger behind the word lawyers, boss.
You have a grudge against lawyers. That's reason enough for you to have done it.
You can't pin this on me! You have no proof!
Objection! And you can't outrun the law! Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies.
A dark time for law is upon us, but I will turn it around.
That was a Phoenix Wright Founder. That's a new game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming autumn 2013. No,
Sometime in the next month or 2 months.
me, I did the Angry Robot Man and I did Phoenix Wright. That Angry Robot Man. It's a horrible boss.
He's back to us. Angry Hulking Crook.
He blew up.
Is there another Founder for Trigon from my friend Trey?
Hey there, hey, we should talk. We didn't talk at all back there. I want to know more about you.
No, there's nothing to talk about.
Oh, you're so cold. Come on, what's your name? Where are you from, huh?
I thought I already thanked you for saving me, so why are you following me?
I felt that fate brought us together.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Didn't you feel it?
Honestly.
I felt it on the back of my neck, like, whoa. Surely you felt it too, like this.
Cut it out!
Oh. Please, you gotta tell me your name. You okay?
I get an allergic reaction when idiots like you touch me!
Even a good guy like me?
Good? All men are the same!
Then you probably shouldn't have came to this town. It's full of idiotic male bounty hunters.
Don't lump me in with them. And this isn't inside a sand steamer.
But I really must know your name. Ah!
I'll kill you!
What's wrong, Meryl?
There's no way. I'm seeing things. It can't be true.
And that was Trigon Fandom. We'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, but fandoms involve you redoing the entire soundtrack, so you can't just turn the voices off. So all the clips you see like that, they've actually redone all the music and all the sound effects to get that effect.
That last night.
Right, yeah, so what I was saying about how fan dubs are made, this is the video editing program I've been using recently called TrackAxe. Pretty much like any video editor like Adobe Premiere, Vegas, whatever you want to use. You can see there I've got the video, and then down the bottom I've had to redo all the sound effects. So that was a car chase, so you have to find sound effects for screeching tyres, for the engine, you have to lay it all out manually. And then I had extra tracks of voice track. My general guide is if you're looking to do a fan dub, I would do a track for each actor. Fan dubbing also means you have to re-script the whole thing from scratch. You can't just use fan subs. I've heard people do that. Not very good. Yeah.
When you hear someone say it, you're like, well,
it's all dependent on whether it fits the lip flaps and whether it's natural, genuine translation or just think this is what they're saying.
Yeah. You take the translation. You have to rewrite it so it makes sense in English.
Where do you get the translations in the first place? If it's not fan subs, which can or cannot be good translations, how do you get the original ones? Do you just pay a friendly one who knows Japanese?
I mean, you can use the fan sub as a translation, but I wouldn't use it as a script. So I wouldn't sit there like put your whatever DVD on and start reading out the subtitles because they won't fit. So you have to. Sometimes the translation will be fine, but you see sometimes these translations and all the characters just says on the screen, and then the subtitle will be like, yes, I agree with you. Well, all she does on the screen, is go, So, you have to adapt the script.
Yeah, precisely. I remember early actual dubs done just cringing using.
Yeah, it's all about fitting the lip flaps and the context and whatever's actually going on, because obviously the Japanese language is just like 5 syllables ahead of anything we will ever say.
Yeah. And that's another thing is like when you're writing a script, you have to time it. So when I'm writing a script, I will keep writing over and over again and actually kind of dub it myself so I can check it works. It's also a skill for any voice actors is to learn to fit the scripts, even though they've been timed. You have to time your voice to fit the things, and especially stuff like fight sounds involve a lot of timing. I don't know if anyone saw Matt Mercer's panel yesterday, where he was talking about all the fight sounds. So you have to think about, if you're getting punched in the stomach, what does that sound like? And then you have to make sure that you time it, because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm doing fight sounds, I tend to want to do like as much as the fight in one go as possible to keep the flow.
It's easier that way. If you do stop and start, then you lose the flow.
Yeah.
Or if you're really hardcore, you could get a friend to actually fight you, and then your noises are real.
They'd have to fight you in time to the anime.
You have to have a friend that's good enough then.
Do it again! Better take
to carry the mic as well.
Right, so we're going to talk about animation. So it's a little bit different because most often when you're doing animation, you're recording your voices first. So professional actors will call it prelay because the animator needs you to record first, so then they can animate to time. So it's kind of the other way around. I don't know about you, but I would put machinima in this category a lot.
Yeah, I will often get a script sent to me beforehand. The guy who's making the machinima will say, this is the basic idea, I wrote you a script, can you just whack off the lines, send me the lines and I'll go from there. And basically, that's it, you just record your lines, send the lines, and then they will do the animation to go with it. It's a lot easier with machinima, and I find a lot of Minecraft now tends to be done in a program that's name has completely gone past out of my head. But it makes it easier to mould the characters in Minecraft so that they're more flexible, and it's not as hard as where if you're recording just game footage from Minecraft, it's not the same as an animation of Minecraft, if that makes sense.
So, I mean, sometimes some people just get like what they call body actors, where people go in and play online multiplayer games and they will act out the script. So they're equivalent to maybe motion capture actors in like some games, and then they'll send you the video and ask you to dub over. Sometimes I think they do that for more complicated stuff, like the Halo stuff I did, like most of the comedy stuff I did beforehand, but if it was a more complex fight, they used to film it in Halo and then I would dub it over for timing.
Find people that do voiceovers for like World of Warcraft and stuff, what's it called, Wild Friendo and Jesse Cox, people like that, they obviously doing little videos and stuff, it's easier because you have the emoticons in WoW to do, like, to actually speak. So it's a lot easier. So what they'll do is they'll record the footage and then do the voice on top. So it can go either way really. You can do the voice and then the footage, or the footage and then the voice. It just depends on what game you're trying to sort of make an animation.
Yeah. Another point on this, and for any kind of project, but particularly animation, is they often tend to be in series and they require commitment. I mean, I get a little bit dubious if someone says to me, oh, I'm going to animate a 52 episode anime on my own after school. So, pinch your salt with those projects, maybe just silently back away. But there are projects like particularly Machinima seem to be quite good at getting series. And so if you commit to that, make sure you do have time where if you live with family or housemates that they will shut up. Or you can schedule time.
Yeah, I find quite a lot of people who I used to do Minecraft Machinimas for, they've slowly stopped doing them. Like Basher used to do Legend of Hobo, and I think he only managed to get out 6 episodes before everything went to pot. Because if the team doesn't work together, then that's it. One person drops out. We had one person drop out and he was the voice of 2 characters, 2 major characters. We couldn't replace them, so it was like, that's it, gone.
So that is a big thing if you're doing a series. Remember that if you're not paying people, what they want to see is a project done and they want an investment back in their time. And the same as if you get cast in the part, it's kind of an obligation. I mean, sometimes real world stuff happens, but you should always be honest about it. Because you could kill someone else, someone could spend 10, 15 hours editing an episode of a fan dub, and then you come in and you don't do half your lines and they can't find a replacement, and then they're screwed.
I've had that where someone's come to me when my voice actress just dropped out of the entire series. Can you literally just jump in? I was like, I don't even think I have the same voice as her. And he was like, just do anything. I'm desperate.
I mean, I'm going to show now Lokimon. I know some of you were quite curious when I was doing my audio testing. This is quite an interesting series, and he has got a number of episodes out regularly, so props to him for that.
All right, quiet everybody. Our director will be here any minute, and we'll start rehearsal.
Director? What director?
Loki, Thor's brother.
Oh no! We're doomed. This is going to be the worst Christmas play ever.
Have a care how you speak. Loki may be beyond reason, but he is of Asgard, and he is my brother.
Remember last Halloween, how he convinced us all to stay out all night and wait for the great pumpkin? We missed trick-or-treating for that. And on top of that, he got diarrhea in the pumpkin patch.
He's adopted.
All right, here he comes. Attention everyone. Here's our director.
There is something vaguely disturbing about this, but I don't know what. I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose. As you know, we are going to put on a Christmas play. Due to the shortage of time and you mortals' inability to govern yourselves, we'll get right down to work. I'll keep my directions simple. If I point to the right, it means focus attention, stage right. If I make a slashing motion across my throat, it means cut the scene short. If I spread my hands apart, it means slow down. If I make a revolving motion with my hand, it means pick up the tempo. It's the spirit of actors that count. The interest that they show in their director. Am I right? I said, am I right?
That was Lokimon by Facepalm Region. I urge you to check that out because there is more than that. I think he's doing a very good start with that series.
I thought it was going to start like a DDR announcement. I saw the bits come up, I was like, oh no, it's time.
It is incredibly random, that one. Alright, I believe you're up. Do you want to talk about before the clip or after?
No, we'll show the clip first because then I can rant at how annoyed I am with it.
I'm incredibly proud of that screenshot I found. I googled Minecraft movie. Yeah, they're all watching movies in Minecraft.
Okay.
Yeah, that's sort of like the program I was talking about, where it's more of an animation than an in-game footage.
What, superimposed stuff?
No, it's not superimposed. I can't remember what the program's called.
Yeah, I think it's
like
in-game.
It's like a rigging program.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. Everyone uses it now.
Right, ready for the clip?
Let's go.
Minecraftia is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost. For none will live that remember it.
Yeah, there was a lot of things wrong with that in so many ways. My main pet peeve of that video is the audio level. The audio level is way too high, but I think it was literally, we had to get it out, and we didn't have time to sort anything out. It was literally, I think the day before they wanted to put on the channel was when Daryl, who made the whole animation, was looking for Martin in Littlewood to do the voice. And I was like, yeah, he's gone to work. He's like, oh, I need a voice. And I was like, well, I'll do it for you. And so we did the voice, and I gave that away, and they put the sound on top, and then the next day it was out. And my first thought was, you can't even hear my voice. Like, if you take the audio away, you can hear it fine, but that's the one thing you've got to get when you're doing any sort of voiceover. You've got to make sure that the audio level is sort of more parallel to the level of the voice, so that you can hear both rather than one over the top of the other. Otherwise it ruins everything. But yeah, that was the whole animation. That was the program we were talking about, was the whole animation thing rather than the in-game footage. And I think Darren was probably one of the first people that used that program. And we're still waiting for part 2. No idea where part 2 is.
Ah, the joys of being an amateur voice actor. sometimes you'll just go online and it will be there like years later, like, oh yeah, I remember that. I was a young child when I recorded that.
A lot of people as well, when you go through comments on the YouTube, a lot of people are like, is that Hannah? Is that Hannah? I was like, I'm nothing like Hannah. God's sake.
But you're both English.
Yeah, the difference is they live in Bristol and I'm from Newcastle. I have the harshest accent you could get. That's a good thing actually. I think we'll talk about accents later, but you'll find accents get you in. I found my accents got me into things.
American things, like
a lot of Americans are like, you've got an accent, you're
British.
I get, oh, can you play a noble lady? You sound really posh. I'm like, no. Alright, so it turns out if you want to do voice acting, you actually have to record yourself. Yeah. Huge variety of setups. My recommended microphone is the Blue Snowball. They also do a slightly more expensive model called the Blue Yeti.
Yeah. Expensiveness. Which is not that much more expensive.
No, it's probably only about 20 quid more.
20 quid more, because I think it's about 110, I think.
Yeah, you can get mine cheaper on eBay if you look around. I think
I got mine from Amazon.
My Snowball I think I got for about 60, which is quite cheap.
Yeah.
I don't really, What do you use, Tom?
I use an Audio Technica 2020 and it cost me like 300 quid. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean the cost can go from really, really cheap. Like I know a lot of people use their Guitar Hero mics. I wouldn't recommend that seriously.
I used that to begin with. That piece of audio that was just on, that was Guitar Hero mic. That was before I got my Blue Yeti.
Yeah, and when you're using a mic like that, I would recommend that you get a stand. So you can get tabletop stands, or I went completely mental. I've got a floor stand.
If you've got big enough boobs like I do, don't put it in between your boobs. Because I did that, and I slowly found it got slowly down my body, and I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't
flesh
work.
than voice.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think keeping the microphone in a consistent place is really important when you're recording, because you don't want your levels to go up and down. That's particularly important, I'd say, in games where your audio can be heard in any order, because it'll be really weird if you're playing a game and you do a quest and you see a character and you're like, hi, how are you? And then the next line is, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Oh yeah. So and as we saw with that Minecraft, unfortunately not every audio editor knows enough to normalise. But yeah, that's another thing. When you make your clips, make sure you pay a lot of attention to the audio.
That's if you're doing it yourself. If you're lucky enough to get somebody else to do everything for you, like I do, it's just like, I'll just watch that before we play.
So I also recommend a pop screen, which you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. You can make them if there's any cosplayers who've got sewing hoops. You can swipe them off them and just put some fabric over the top, or
wire coat hanger. If you've got a wire coat hanger, bend it out, bend it in a circle, and cut the end off a pair of tights where your foot goes. Put that over. Instant.
I'm not crafty, so I just went to Macklin and paid them like a £5.
Yeah. I don't even use mine because it doesn't fit off my mic.
They're very good because often when you hear, like, maybe you hear this a lot when you're gaming, or in some clips where you hear a lot of like.
Yeah, that's really annoying as well. You can use these as well, these little foamy bits. Yeah, so I've got one of those on my mic because the pop screen will go over it.
And for recording software, I recommend, for free, is Audacity. It's open source, it's pretty good for free. Look into noise reduction and normalisation on there. So it's got filters, they're very, very good. Otherwise, if you can afford a bit more, I'd say if you can plump out for Adobe Audition, because I can hear the difference in recording quality between that and paid for software. Audacity is great because it's free, it's open source, it's updated, and it's got lots of free plugins. But if you can afford a little bit more, it's that thing that this can become
better quality. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you want something to sound like it's being done professionally, then splash out a little bit if you can. But if you can't, then it's fine. Go for Audacity.
I wouldn't go out and spend like 400 quid on audio equipment when you're just starting out. Grab your Guitar Hero mic, get Audacity, get practicing until you're comfortable with mic technique, and then upgrade. Because the general rule of thumb is the more expensive the microphone, the more sensitive it is, the more nuances it will pick up on your performance. Also, the more mistakes. Right, yes, recording tips. Number one tip is what we've been breaking quite breaking a lot this con.
Frequently?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not frequently. We've been breaking laws. Yeah, drink lots of water. Your voice can dry out and it can affect your recording quality. You can put a lot of strain on your voice.
Like right now.
It's a thing that Matt said the other day was, especially if you're doing really, really harsh, sort of like deep throatiness, you know, you need to be constantly drinking water, otherwise you will constantly have that when you're trying to do your normal lines. I've had that before and it wasn't fun.
Yeah, your voice would just go.
Oh, rubbish. Yeah.
I don't know if this is true, but I was told that you can't eat stuff like chocolate and stuff before you start to do it, because that kind of goes.
An ocean of guitar will come up your throat and interrupt everything you're doing.
It's like, if don't eat peanut butter either. I did that once by mistake, and then I had like the stickiness of peanut butter in my mouth, and you could hear it smacking in the back of my mouth.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
When you've just done like a really good line or a really good take of a line, and then you listen back and all you can hear is
fuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Not good.
Yeah, avoid anything dairy. It's pretty much the general rule because it can leave coating on your throat.
Yeah.
Yes, learn voice warm-ups. It's really, really bad to just go straight into like incredibly high or incredibly strenuous voices. At the end of this thing, I've listed a couple of really good books, but it's really important that you learn some basic warm-ups. And if I don't know if any of you are thinking about voice acting as a career. Yeah, if a couple of you. Yeah, if you want to do that, the first thing, like, you should definitely pay for professional voice acting warm-ups.
Yeah. I found my warm-ups came from my singing lessons.
Oh yeah, I mean singing as well is very good.
Singing lesson warm-ups really help. But it's more or less just rolling letters. Yeah, stuff like that. And just do you know those like, what was it? Those really stupid like TV shows where they've got singers on and they go like and stuff like that actually helps.
I hiss.
You hiss?
Hiss? If you go because what is really important is your voice comes from your diaphragm, not your throat, because you can hurt yourself. So yeah, if I talk from up here, but if I go deeper, it's more powerful and I will do less damage to myself. And already you can hear a little difference in my voice.
Yeah.
So like most of the reason I sound like a 12-year-old right now is because I was on karaoke last night and I was at the rave thing, and yeah, I use my throat because it's so much easier, but it just destroys everything.
Oh yes, now you were going to talk about yelling.
Oh, yeah.
You up to it?
I'm going to tell a story. Has anyone heard of Dragon Ball Z? Yeah. When Funimation started dubbing it, the voice actor for Goku, Sean Schemmel, he did a few screaming, shouting lines, and he used his throat quite a lot and would like breathe in and then yell, and he did that to the point that he actually passed out, because that's not the way you do it. You're meant to like summon it from within as opposed to your throat. Like, as long as it's from your diaphragm and it's from, I don't know, I can't explain it any other way, but like your stomach or your chest area, like it comes across a lot better. And don't go to take a breath before you do a voice line. You will run out very quickly and pass out. Yeah. But if that's what you want to do, then that's how to do it.
You'll find that once you start doing voice acting more and more often, it comes more naturally to you, and you'll just go into a flow of it. When you're starting out, you will start doing like you say, taking a breath before doing a line, and then you run out as you're getting halfway through the line, and then you go halfway through the line, and then start all over again. It's so much.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you can do is if you put your hand here, you can hear where your voice is coming from, and that's really good when you're starting out and you're having trouble, switching where your voice is coming from. So if you put your hand, on here when you're recording, then you can make sure you can feel that your voice is staying down low.
I put my hand down here when I'm recording, because then I can feel how I'm breathing.
If it's kicking.
If it's kicking. I feel if it's kicking. But yeah, I can feel how I'm breathing, and that makes it easier for me to tell if I'm sounding wrong.
Yeah, and another thing, I mentioned this briefly, but yeah, not reducto, it's not Harry Potter. Learn about noise reduction. You can Google it for any software you're using. Most of your houses will have random sounds in the background, so you can use noise reduction. You take about like a minimum 10-15 second sample of just the ambient noise in your house, and then you can use it to cancel out
everything else.
The crap. I mean, you have to play with it a bit, so you don't sound like a robot.
I find if you've got a pet like I do, I've got a dog, And if I'm going to record anything, the minute I go to record something, he will find the loudest, squeakiest toy he can find, and he will run backwards and forwards, squeaking the toy. So what I do is I take all of his toys away, put them in his cage, and I'll give him like a chew bone, like a rawhide bone, because it keeps him quiet, and then that's it. So if you have a pet, make sure that you put away all their toys, anything that will make a noise, and give them something to keep them quiet. Otherwise, you're going to have that. Will you shut up?
Also, the noise removal process technically takes like parts of the sound file away, so you want to make sure that the audio is loud enough for it to cancel out just the noise and not also take away parts of your voice, because sometimes it will like cut off the end of words and stuff, and everything sounds like you're underwater. Like that's happened quite a few times before, where people have not leveled things properly and tried to noise remove, and everything just sounds like shit. So.
Alright, so we're actually going to talk how you find roles if you want to voice act for other people, or if you're doing your own productions, how to find actors to act in them. I think my first basic piece of advice if you want to voice act is start voice acting. Don't wait for anyone else, just start recording stuff, put it on SoundCloud, YouTube.
Voice reel.
Voice reel.
Make a voice reel. Do a voice reel, put it on YouTube. People will find it. Don't know how, but they find it, and then they're like, yeah, that person's got some good voices. I'll just send them a cheeky email.
YouTube's very good for that. Once I started putting my demo reels up on YouTube, I started getting a lot more emails like that, so it's pretty useful.
And that's how Shady Box, if anyone knows Shady Box, that's how he started out. He started out with his couple of things on YouTube. Didn't really care, put up his voices, and look where he is now.
If I'm sure there's a few gamers around here, I'm just taking a guess. Pay attention on the gaming or mod forums you're on, because they're quite often put posts up for voice actors. Some people, not realising there's more than one girl on the internet, will be like, I need girls for my project!
Community for gaming as well. Like, all my stuff that I've done for Minecraft is literally just through the one community. If you're a part of a community, you will get, some sort of work from it.
Some advice if you're using forums, make sure the posts are properly written. I think it's a huge alarm bell if their post is just, I need voice actors, PM me. That's it.
That's it, no.
I run voiceacting.co.uk, which is a voice acting forum, and if you're posting in the audition section of my forum, we know that already, thank you. So it rings alarm bells. So I'd say if you're using a voice acting forum, which there are other brands available, make sure the posts are properly written. My one's the nice one. We're happy.
Flattened out into this big mulch.
Yeah, I would say voice acting forums are as important as they used to be because of YouTube. YouTube is kind of, SoundCloud and Twitter have kind of diversified it.
Yeah, I found that.
So we'll talk about demo reels. A demo reel should be about a minute long, I reckon.
Yes, don't make it 10 minutes long. If you're doing your audition, don't make it 10 minutes long with every voice you've put in, because I did that once. I was like, oh, here's every single piece of work I've done, and here's some more work that I'll do, and it was 10 minutes long, and I sent it, and after I'd sent it, I was like, shouldn't have sent that.
Oh yeah, I'd recommend that you you Google for voice acting demo reels, or look at the demo reels of actual professional voice actors. You look up Matt Mercer, look up all your anime voice actors you like, and then listen to their demo reels. The best demo reels sound like they're actual clips from shows, even if you haven't done any voice acting yet. If you mix it so it sounds like you've got music and sound effects, then it's far better. I'm actually going to show my demo reel from 2 years ago, which I'm still getting emails about, and I did one later that I hadn't finished. I hadn't put any sound effects and music, and this one, even though I don't think the acting is that good compared to the other one, still gets more emails. Yeah. So yeah, don't be too harsh.
That's my face.
I could have sworn I heard Goku call my name. When I grow up, will I be really strong? Hey, how's it going? It's been a while. I missed you. But to be honest, I don't even know what it does. Look, Koki, it's a hamster. Walter, what the hell is this thing? I know it's a coffin. What the hell is it doing in my bedroom? Because you're a dirty, stinky pervert! Perhaps another puzzle solved. Well done, Professor. better. But you just rented that umbrella. And to be honest, I kind of like walking in the rain. Hello! 33! Soul Cancel! Don't speak. Taking this out will be hard enough.
Mom, Dad, will you stop doing that? If you want to fight, do it outside.
You? Me? There's like no way.
Well, I guess so. Where are you going, sweetie?
So most of those are completely random things. There's a few game clips and stuff I've kind of swiped for it, but I wrote most of that. And you can write your own clips and fake them so they sound like they're from different anime, and then you can get different clips. And I'd say try and use distinctive quotes, because I do get a lot of emails going, "Hi, can you do some voice acts for me?" And I say, "Yeah, which voice do you like?" "I like the voice when you're screaming about perverts, please." But it's easy for them to reference.
Yeah.
Strange emails though.
See, I'm naughty, I don't have a demo reel.
Yeah, me neither. They're quite hard to make, but one tip that I've heard from pro is that if you're making a particular type, or you're aiming for a particular type of role, the demo reel that you make for that should genuinely only be that. Like, if you're doing a character voice, don't put in your radio voice, or if you're doing a news reading, don't put in your anime characters, because chances are they're going to listen to that, and as soon as it hits that other content, they're just going to stop listening, because they know that you've not organised the demo properly. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I get scouts, I mean, you guys will probably get this when you're scouted from productions you've been in. A lot of people, they can't imagine what voices you might do. I mean, every so often someone will email me asking you, can you try this character? But they'll be like, can I have a voice, like your third voice in your demo reel, or the really cutesy one, or the small cockney child, because they're looking for that kind of voice, and they will just listen through demo reels until they find someone who can do the voice.
I can't do cutesy voices.
I'm practicing my girl voice right now, but I'm so broken and prepubescent right now.
I'm going to recommend a couple of books. The Art of Voice Acting has been out for quite a number of years. They revise it every few years, and it is generally really, really good if you're interested in voice acting as an industry, but also practical stuff, like it's got a lot of warm-ups and stuff in there. And also voiceover actor, What It's Like Behind the Mic, by Yuri Lothendal and Tara Platt, who are two anime and game voice actors. And so if you're interested in anime and game voice acting, I mean, this is American based, but it's still a lot of stuff about the industry. It's got example ADR scripts, it's got warm-ups, and yes, it is.
And also Yosuke from Persona 4, and everyone ever. Yuri Lothendal's been in so much, nearly about as much as Johnny Young Bosch. So.
Yeah, and they've got.
Oh god, yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, Crispin Freeman does a really good podcast as well.
Does, yeah.
Yes, he does.
Masters of Voice Acting or something like
Yeah,
that.
voice acting mastery. It's very good to listen to. Yeah, just thought I'd recommend those.
Another recommendation I made was Trevor Ball, Voice Print.
Oh, okay, yeah. I shall Google that. Yes, but I was going to put this on to questions. Does anyone actually have any questions? Yep, do you need a mic, or do you want to just carry on yelling out?
We haven't talked about accents.
Oh yes, we will get to.
Conan's eyes have
I think
that.
there was a little thing got cut off. Yeah. Oh gosh, accents.
His eyes are like a modern art piece.
Yeah, you. Creative Conan. I thought questions. It was late. Google. Yeah. So accent. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people they're not aware of it, but they think anime sounds American.
Well, most of the production studios are in America. Yeah.
So that's definitely a thing to bear in mind. Is your accent? I don't think you should. I'm trying to get more British and Irish and European voice acting people into this.
There was a very, very interesting dub of one of the Dragon Ball movies, Dragon Ball Z, Tree of Might, I think it was called. There was like an English. Yes.
Yeah, that was. I think they were
Big Green, Big Green.
The Big Green. Yes. They did all the movies.
So we've not really got a good track record for managing whole dubs like in the UK. But
yeah, aside for the British people.
I find that really strange because you think about it, we have so much American content on our TVs that it's really easy for us in the UK to do an American accent. Whereas when you go to America and they try to be British, they instantly go to the very
Cockney,
posh,
yeah.
not
Yeah.
real British accent. And it's like, Britain has
That'll
a
Cockney.
million accents. We're not just one type, but they think we are.
It's the same with America, and they feel the same way that when you do an accent, it'll be a certain dialect, but there's so many different dialects. Like, that's quite in anime as well, especially in Japanese. When they'll translate an anime to English, what they used to do is make everyone that was a different dialect Texan. What? That doesn't, it sort of makes sense, but mostly doesn't. Like,
It's mostly just where the actual accent is geographically.
okay, so they're just trying to
Everywhere
appeal to...
else south we use a southern accent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it depends loosely on the production. I mean, I've learnt to Americanise my voice just because I learnt by copying, and a lot of the early fan dubs, when I started, there were very, very few other British people on the forums, so I kind of learnt to Americanise. But, you know, it's depending on the project. Obviously, if you use Skyrim, it's so popular, it's brilliant.
I find that, yeah. But I know, literally, after I did the Oxcast video, my foot just got in the door, and it was purely, I literally had just gone on forums for Minecraft, communities, different ones that were doing projects, and I was just like, yeah, I'd like to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, the moderators of the forum were like, oh, can you do a demo reel? I was like, yeah, I'll get a demo reel for you, like, tomorrow. And then, like, not 2 minutes later, I had the guy, of the head sort of guy, come on and was like, you have a Geordie accent. Not mine.
I mean, your accent can be your unique selling point as well, you know. So the bigger your range, maybe the bigger potential parts, but there's no reason you can't specialise. I mean, when you think of like film actors like Sean Connery, you know, he doesn't do any. His Spanish character is the same as every other character, but he's got an amazing voice, and acting should come first. So if you more practice,
And the thing is, as well, to remember with voice acting, the acting part's really important. While it's really good that you can do like a really good impression of SpongeBob or whatever, if there's no actual you behind that, then it falls flat. Like there is like a place in the voice acting community for imitations, and a lot of people say, oh, I can imitate this, this, and that. But most of what a director will want to hear is you and what you can do, as opposed to like, you know, how well you can imitate Squidward or whatever.
If anybody ever asks for like the Big Brother voiceover, if they're doing a video with the Big Brother voiceover, that's the first thing they ask me to do. It's like, can you do that voice? And it's like, oh, do I have to? Yes.
Day 4 in the Brother House.
Yeah, it's like, day 4 in the Big Brother house. Chantel is in the bathroom taking a shit.
She is the shit.
It looks like a number 2.
Any other questions?
Oh yeah.
Okay, right. Irish accents. What's demanding Irish accents right now?
The fact that they're sexy.
In Skyrim, in a lot of medieval games, they seem to like mix accents. I don't know if that's because there's American people behind it, but they have like, for the Nordic period, they'll have Irish, Scottish, and Queen's
English.
Yeah, and then they'll like mix. So there's a demand for anything within the United Kingdom that has an accent that's not.
But also a lot of original stuff, because if there's no preconceptions about the character, they can look for acting, particularly, you know, if it's set, you know, anywhere around here, you know, it's obviously, you're going to get all sorts of, you know, British, Irish accents, so you can audition and stuff like that. Doctor Who, huge audio community, because when, you know, the original series went off air, and the gap between the new series, there was a company called Big Finish doing audio productions, keeping it alive, and that was actually started kind of inspired by the fan community, so there were several long-running Doctor Who fan things, so there's a huge Doctor Who fan community. So I'd look for fan communities for British series as well.
Just going off what you say about if there's no original audio, you'll find that a lot with mods and machinimas and stuff, that you can just jump in there because, let's say, there's nothing original. So you can play around with different things. Like I think I've spent a good sort of 2 days trying to work out one voice for one character, and I went about 50 different voice types just to get the perfect one. And in the end I was like, it's perfect! And I said it, and they listened to it and they're like, is that you? And I was like, yeah, that's me. But you sound feminine. It's like I'm feminine enough when I've not got my top on.
Another thing, there's a lot of anime that's set in European countries, or because they like absolutely adore the West, it'll be implied that it's in some sort of pseudo London. And there's an anime called D. Grey Man. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. Alan Walker's meant to be English, and then you listen to the English dub, and it's Todd Havercorn, and it's very American. But the Japanese as well, it's just like, we're in London, but everyone's speaking Japanese, and the only anime that I've seen that's made an effort to try and adapt to its culture is Eden of the East, where they actually have really good English voice actors doing the English parts. But I ended up having to switch over to English anyway because of the English. It was horrible. Like, I don't know.
That's the main reason I will not watch a dub. Because
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Beck, Mongolian Sharp Squad. Perfect. What's that? I don't know actually.
It's a series and there's a couple of
movies.
movies.
Yeah. There's a TV series and then movies, but I watched the English dub for like the majority of the movies, but I was talking about the TV series. So.
I think we've got time for one more. Oh, two, yeah.
Oh, no, sorry.
Go.
How often do you get proper direction, and what do you feel like the best way for directors to actually direct you is?
Well, I don't know about you two, but when I'm doing any sort of voice work, we will all hop into TeamSpeak, and we will literally sit down, write the lines, go through what the character's backstory is, and then try to work through the voice. And I will literally just fire off different accents, different voices, and the guy will be like, yeah, I'll have that one, can you go away and record that? Yep. And then that's basically the process of how I do it. But that's a lot of gaming machinima stuff, is because they're online all the time.
I mean, it depends what I'm doing. I have done stuff over Skype, but it's quite strenuous. Fan dubs, you can't really do it because you need to be able to be playing back the clip and recording. So what I'll do is, if it's a good written script, I'll have direction or someone will have talked to me about it first, and then I'll record through, and I'll often do 2 or 3 passes minimum, and then send those off, and they can pick the best take, or if there's a take they don't like, then they can say, like, I number all my lines, all my scripts, so I can say, line 23, can I have a take, like, a little bit more like take B, but with some of the energy of take A, and then you can go backwards and forwards a few times, but you can,
It's me.
It's so confusing.
Well, eventually.
So it's a kind of process of doing it a few takes at a time and sending backwards and forwards. Right, yeah. Who was that last question? Yeah, go on.
You were talking about trying to speak from the diaphragm rather than your throat. How do you train yourself to do it? Because I find it quite a difficult concept to try and talk from the
That's my got here. Have you tried Qigong? Because that teaches you to breathe from the diaphragm.
And also, like, how you position yourself when you record. Like, I always sit down. You shouldn't do that.
No, because that squishes your diaphragm.
Yeah.
Stand up. If you stand up, you're stretching your body, and you're right. It is hard. And I find, obviously, with my singing background, it's easier. But the way that I got taught to do it was when I was learning was to put your hand on and to breathe from down here. Don't breathe through your nose. Well, breathe through your nose, but don't.
Don't ever breathe through your nose ever again.
It was just, you can feel it when you take a deep enough breath. If you imagine it coming out from there, then it will come out. And the same with going, if you're trying to get your voice to go higher, my singing teacher used to go, imagine a bean sprout coming out from the top of your head and growing up.
Sounds violent.
It was violent. But yeah, that's how I do it, is literally put my hands on and just breathe, keep breathing, and you'll learn where your diaphragm is and where it moves to.
Yeah, that tutorial, I mean, the art of voice acting is how I learned. There's a thing about vocal warm-ups, and just by following those warm-ups on a regular basis, I learn. Not everyone's going to get it first go, and in fact, I'd say to learn it properly, it will take a bit of practice. So my advice would be, look up tutorials and keep practicing. I think we're going to run out of time and we're going to get kicked out soon. So thank you very much for coming. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And then